Hi, my name is Susan.
My name is Eunice.
My name is Wango.
Shiro Madenge.
Bagari. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on our episodes.
Karibuni Mum Nation.
Hey! Welcome back to Mum Nation. Please remember to sanitize with Dettol hand sanitizer. Thank you, Dettol. Today we are here with
Bagari. Susan.
Wango.
and I'm Eunice, and we have our first male guest.
Yay!
For all those men who've been asking, can we join Mum Nation? Yes, you can. Here.
This is our first member.
Yeah, this is our first member, our biggest supporter. Very many.
Pasponyo.
Yes, our first sponsor. You know, he's Mum Nation from the fatherhood angle. So Waweru,
Very kind.
welcome
Thank
to
you.
Mum Nation.
Thank you so much.
Today we are talking about in-laws and outlaws in parenting. So let me give you an example. When I had my first baby, so my mother-in-law came to visit me, my mother came to visit me, and my sister-in-law came to visit me, and they all happened to be in one room. So I was doing exclusive breastfeeding. It's my first baby. And the baby used to suffer from colic. So he started crying and all that, and my mother-in-law just asked, "Oh, have you given him water?" And I was like, "No." "Why don't you give him water?" I said, "No, because I'm doing exclusive breastfeeding." And it became such a huge argument. So all of them just ganged up against me. Yeah, and the hormones are all flying. Yeah, so they all ganged up against me. "You have to give a baby water. Since this baby was born, it's been over a month. You mean the baby has not drunk water? My goodness, you're killing the baby." And then, as in, the baby is constipated, all that stuff. And I'm like, he's drinking my breast milk. What is he constipated from, So it was such a huge argument. I had to call my husband crying because now I was crying. These people want to force the water into the baby's mouth. I carried my baby, went into my room, closed it, and called my husband and told him, "Talk to your mother and your sister. My mother is not even listening to me. She's even turned against me." And they want me to give the baby water. Thank God, both my husband and I were on the same page on this matter. So I think he called them and he told them, if you people can't, if people don't agree with what we are doing, you are free to leave with the same door you came in from. So I remember it had to take, honestly, then I remember my mom talked to my friend's mom, who is a nurse. And luckily she called sometime later that day. And she's like, "Can you imagine Eunice is not giving the baby water?" Thank God she's a nurse. She's like, "No, we are not supposed to do that." And she and then now my mom believed and understood. Yeah. But that experience traumatized me. I was so hurt. I was like, yes, I know I'm a new mom, but it's not like I'm guessing these things. I was even told your pediatrician is wrong. These doctors of these days, they don't know what they're doing. So I was like, okay, I know it takes a village to bring up a child, but do you feel like sometimes the in-laws and the outlaws being the society, your friends, church, and church is huge at this. Do you feel like they're so much into your parenting business? And how do we handle that?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are.
They are?
Into your business period.
Yes. Oh, into your business period. from when you're married.
When your business is.
From when you joined.
Yeah? And are all in-laws bad? Or it's just a matter of there are people you're not used to. You met them when you're grown up. But then also I met my spouse when I was grown up. Okay, but we took time to know each other. So maybe is it that we need to take time to know each other with the in-laws? And why is it that I'm the one who has to put in more effort to know them? Why don't they also put in effort to know me so that we can, cooperate?
Blend.
Yeah, blend. Yes, that's the word.
And then you become one happy parenting village.
Yes.
That is the idea.
Yes.
We all want to live in harmony. But you see now, okay, yeah, it's true what you're saying, that there's a lot of expectation as the outsider. Yes, you're new, you've joined this family, okay. And nowadays, we don't take that much time to, let's say, visit your in-laws. Yeah? Because you're like, see, we are getting married. It's just going to be me and my spouse. But people don't understand that your spouse comes with
Whole package.
their people. Yeah. So you're just not marrying this person, you're marrying this person and their family. But it's more so that the woman is one who's going to do more, like you're saying, to be accepted, to do what they do usually, and it's probably what they do is not necessarily the right way. Yeah.
And remember, you're coming from where your family has also, do, like you've been trained to do, you're not falling off. You're not coming from a non-tradition as well.
Yeah.
So you're also having to forget, or rather to adapt new ways. Not necessarily, you don't have to forget or let go of your styles, but incorporate their styles as, So it's harder, I feel like, in my culture, you get married to the family. I think all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah, to the guys, to the husband's family. Now you forget, your old ways. You now adapt, and I think that's why it's hard and that's why the work is on you, the woman,
To fit in.
to fit in.
Try and fit in.
I mean, you're very fortunate if you find people willing to teach or to embrace you, or even just accepting that you're different, they're different, But it's more work on you because culturally, it's the lady living to go. Yeah.
But shouldn't the man also, because I find it so unfair. I find it so unfair that I have to fit in here and adapt and everything. My spouse will remain a visitor with my family. In fact, he doesn't make any effort to know my family members. Do you make any effort to know your in-laws?
Man, I did a lot in the beginning.
You made an effort?
A lot. But for me, I would say I was lucky because Nikioa, then my wife's family are more liberal than the family I'm from. So nilikutana ingiana nao virahisi as far as like certain things, like the kind of person I was, the stuff for them that was no big deal. So I'm like, cool. But eventually, now it gets serious. You start to realize, oh man, we are really different. We are different, and this mishmash of traditional systems and church. Upon the Omina, we start to face challenges there because we have our cultural system as Africans, and then we have the religious system that we now ascribe to. But watu wakioana, you're kind of isolated, You now become a couple. You guys figure life out. Na we bado utubambe na vile mnaishi. You see? Like, figure this thing, this marriage thing out, this parent thing out, but pia make sure you're an angel to us. This is now from, let's say, a lady's side, right?
Yeah.
Because they expect you to integrate into the family where you've been married, ujue vile behave, vile upika, uwafurahishe, wafurahi kukuona. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if it really works. I don't think too many guys have an easy time with this kind of thing. But for guys putting effort, guys put effort when they see ukikaribishwa unaingia, you know what I mean? So if you feel like you're bumping into a wall with your in-laws as a guy, unatulia tu, sema sawa, haina mambo. Yeah.
So now, at what point, because I feel our traditions are dying. They are slowly, like nobody's telling us, okay, you don't do this because this, or when this happens, then you do this traditionally. This only comes when you're getting married. Then you're told, you istukia, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do this, and then now that's when you're learning about traditions and culture, or you do something wrong and then somebody rebukes you and they're like, you're not supposed to do that because this is not what we do in culture.
Yeah. But
at what point are you taught about the culture? Like, I guess it's through life, yes, but we really don't have a grasp of our traditions, save for what we have, probably what our parents have gone through.
Right.
But like our grandparents, we don't know. It's not that deep culture that we know.
Yeah, and it used to be passed down, but
Yes.
now it's not.
It's not.
And you're still expected to know certain things. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
You see, for me, I don't know, I speak about this all the time. I think modern marriage is the structure doesn't lean very much towards success. That's why you see like modern marriage is 50-50, isn't it? That's what the stats say from the states, from development, 50-50. Isn't it? And that doesn't count the guys who can't leave.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And I say guys, I mean both men and women. So if you have such a high failure rate, if a guy told you, hey bro, I'll fly to Mombasa, alafu there's a 50-50 chance indege itafika, I'll be like, nah, siwezi panda indege. The problem is that you come in and you're not prepared, but somehow people expect that you should be prepared. So we don't have this cultural passing down of this is how you deal with this issue, this is what you do when children are born, this is what you do when you have an issue with your mom-in-law. We don't have that system that used to be passed down, but you're still expected to thrive inside that institution. So the loss of culture, and it hasn't been replaced by something else that works, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So it boils down to individual couples and
families.
couple groups and families to come together and say, okay, so
Okay.
how do we move?
Yeah.
How do we operate?
Yeah.
And groups like Mum Nation to
Yeah.
empower other moms.
Yeah.
But is it more of a problem, an urban problem, or it's all over? Because the other day I was in the village attending a funeral, and like my auntie's spouses came for that funeral, and Jangos are huge, Luos are huge on funeral, and also how to treat the in-laws. Like the in-laws, the male in-law, let me specify, the male in-law. So like my hubby, if he comes home to my mother's home, he's like a god. And sometimes they're looking at him like, so he's treated so, like,
Special.
it's so special, yeah.
But
There's a
even
way you,
Equity.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I find like you guys, you're more free with your in-laws. Okay, my husband, not every garagaria in that home is going to go and just talk to him at hi,
Actually.
give him a hug. No.
With select people.
He is to be treated the way, Uhuru, if he came to your home. Yeah. He was, Mheshimiwa. Certain people will talk to him. You, the rest of Mwananchi, you will greet him and pass as you go. Yeah. See, to stop there and catch up on what happened. I find like you guys are more liberal.
Yeah, to add on that, your father, like now, your mother-in-law, and how do I put this? Like, let me say my mom and my dad, when my grandmother from my mother's side comes, yeah, so my father and her mother and his mother-in-law cannot sit in
The
one
same
sitting.
area.
No.
Yeah, if she comes in, they go
He greets her and go.
greets and goes under
Yeah.
the tree to eat.
Your father now has to
Yeah.
leave.
Has to leave.
My mother cannot sit with my husband
Yeah.
In the same.
in the same setting.
Yeah.
No.
So who has to leave? The man or the woman?
The man.
The man.
Because the woman is
Because
the
the
guest.
mother-in-law has come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they
I think
don't
for us it's
interact.
the man is king, whether younger or older. True.
So he'll sit there. So you're the one to make yourself
Yes.
comfortable.
So the
as a
woman will
Rally
cater to
around
the
him.
man, but the man can never leave his throne because a woman
as the man
entered.
leaves.
Because imekuwa kikao ya wanawake. Is that
It's
No,
just the
she's
mother-in-law.
an in-law.
She's an
She's an
in-law.
in-law,
Yeah.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think then the difference with our culture, if I'm not wrong, our culture also celebrates the boy child in the sense that, I feel like marriage is a good thing, and I mean like a good thing. Not, however, it's just that it's more, I don't want to say a favor, but it's treated like, like you found a husband. It's
a prestigious thing.
It is,
It's
which
a
it
status
is,
thing.
which it
Elevated,
is,
yeah.
which it is. It's just, it's more, the guy, like, he married our daughter. Like, he almost saved our daughter.
No, he saved. Not almost. To them, he saved
No,
our
it's
daughter.
traditionally the way it's supposed to be and stuff. It has its place. It's just that. So that's the prefix at which now men would be treated. So the in-law, my husband in our household, is a very important guest. You know, like
Yeah, definitely.
he's the one who married. You know, there's even I don't know if I'm wrong, but it's like he saved us from shame of. You get he saved us
Rescued our daughter.
from shame of,
Of
not
not
being married or something like that. So that's the intensity at which now us in our culture men are like the son-in-law would be treated with.
So
He's such a precious gift.
So back to parenting and in-laws. How then? Let's say you are not all 100% with your in-laws. Me as a lady, but they are now children here involved. How do you treat this situation? Like, my in-laws have a certain way of how I should raise my children.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't totally agree with it. It may be wrong or right, but I don't totally agree with it. So how do we reach a compromise in this situation? Because that is what happens with many of us. Yeah.
I think if you're on the same page as you and your hubby are on the same page about how you're going to parent, and then he comes out and says, by the way, this is the way we are raising our children, you know, they will back off.
They will.
They will. Because now, and if you're not on the same page, then you become by yourself. Everybody gangs up against you,
Including your hubby.
including your hubby. Then you'll be the bad person.
And it's to both sides of the family, because even to your side,
Yeah.
you have to say this is what we've agreed on.
Yeah.
In every situation, even
Yeah.
especially parenting, this is how we're doing our kids. Because you see, even them, they're shocked. Your mother is shocked. What are this you're doing? Me, I didn't do that. I have raised
We are
four
tying
of
beads.
you
We are tying beads at the
successfully.
waist.
That's my chicken.
And then my hubby says, yes, that is what we do. Even me, I was tied for beads.
Yes.
You see, this is how I got you. And then you're like,
yeah, like,
"Jeez, where do we start now?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I also think a lot of wisdom on both whoever is handling whichever in-laws, because also you don't want your hubby to go and say wangu amekataa. You know, it's a lot of wisdom for also both of you, because you're representing. See, we've become one. So you're representing yourself. Whatever you go tell your side of the family is a representation of you.
yes.
Whatever I tell the side of my family, it's a representation of us, but to preserve our family. And I think it's in everything. In everything, you do something small. People ask out of love, out of concern, out of curiosity. You know.
But then, it doesn't it like, if let's say there are things that you disagree with from your in-law side, so how do you handle, like, if your children have to go and stay at your in-laws? Because some in-laws are very, what are they? Manipulative, conniving? They will wait for that sleepover and undo what you've done with your children. Yeah, and how does that work? Tell us. Yeah, because now, sorry, you're the man here, so you're on the spot, so you're representing
You said the children.
your gender.
Yeah, okay, so let me share with you something that my dad told me. He told me that for relationships to work well, you either need to have same culture, but same cultural background. If you don't have that, then a religious system, be of the same religious system. He said because with one of those two things, nyote mnafuata sheria moja. You're both on the same page about the generalities of things that you need to do, how to live together, how to treat your kids and all this stuff. When it comes to now outside of that framework, now dealing with in-laws and stuff and taking kids, sasa hapo economics inaingia and how people grew up. Kuna kwa family utakuta kuna msani make it, kuna mtu haku make it. There's people who never really got along, and then there's people who get along better than others. Alafu sahi kuna weekend imekuja, kids have closed, and you want to take your kids. But there's people there who you feel mazistaki out karibu na watoi wangu. I'll tell you how I feel. Because of my personal experiences and because I read too much. For me, I feel like this focus of watasemaje, how will they feel about me, should be secondary to what I feel is the standard for my people. if I feel like a weekend here, wanaenda kuona vitu staki waone, wanaenda kuambiwa vitu staki wasikie. Your story imeisha maze. Kesi kotini. Like me, dislike me is cool. My background is music. I've had people telling me I hate you from a long time ago, and other people saying I love you. So I've become immune to what people really feel, especially about my kids. With my kids, I've gotten into it with even very close people. Like nasema staki watu wangu wakule hii sukari mingi. It's not good for their brains that they're developing. But remember, see tukigrow, hizi vitu zilikuwa treat. This was everything. So now there's everything on the table for these kids to just get on. Na mi staki yo. Mi staki yo because I know the particular needs my child has na najua kitu sukari namfanya. So if we can't agree on this,
I mean,
So would
then
you
my
really
kid is
tell your
not
mother
there.
that?
Oh,
that's the question.
This is the
Yeah,
thing.
because like
He
for
has
example,
told both his mother.
So
yeah,
I've
because
gotten-
for example, if I want to, I'm raising my children as vegetarians. I'm not raising my children as vegetarians. But that's an example. But your mom is for like a child needs meat to grow strong.
Yeah.
This child is
And a
going to
lot
get
of meat.
kwashoko.
Yeah.
You'll tell her because
In her face, no.
you will.
Sitamwambia. In her face sitamwambia hivyo. But then nitatengeneza rada yenye. We're not fighting.
Yeah.
But I'm also winning because at the end mi ndo tabaki na umtoi.
Yeah.
If this kid grows up seeing things, and this happens a lot, for me sleepovers are limited, whether ikue relatives ama ikue nani, because we work so hard, alafu watoi wanaenda 2 days wanarudi nashindwa.
It's undone.
Whose child is this?
Si vitu gani wanaongea,
And they pick so
even the
fast.
words, the nuances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it, I know I can't win. I can't have kids who just grow up the way I want them to grow up. But if I feel that this is more important and it's about their future, then I go with my stand. Whether it's my mom, whether it's my dad, whether it's anybody. Done.
But then now there's the other side of, okay, they are going to shows because their cousins are there, sijui what.
Yeah.
So, Wawero's children don't come. When will they know their cousins? When will they know?
And then-
You know, that's always comes.
It is Wango's fault.
Yeah.
It is never Wawero's fault.
woman's
It is
fault.
never Wawero's
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah,
It is
then
Wango's
of course,
fault.
poison.
Wait, mabwana wameikosea siku gani bana? When have we ever been?
Now here.
Never been bad.
We've never been bad. We've
You've
never
never
been
been
wrong.
bad.
I remember we came in and we saved the situation.
You saved the girl. You saved the girl.
Cinderella.
And this thing comes from how human beings used to live. Sindio?
Yeah.
Before this world we live in now,
Yes.
you needed men for protection.
Yeah.
Like, hapa wanyama wanaweza kuja, tuna need mwanaume. So when you get a man, it's a big deal. Sindio?
Hey, calm down.
And that's that's the pretext. That's how it came from. Yeah, men are the prize. So
That's society for us.
so that's how the human beings evolved as needing men as a protector. It's less and less necessary now for physical protection, but still unakutea kitu imekam of mazee mwanaume ndio ukiona mwanaume mazee ni kufiti. Na ni ukweli ukiona mwanaume mfiti mambo inakuanga fiti, si ndio? But
Keyword, mfiti. Underline, mwanaume mfiti, things are good.
Yes.
mwanaume akona roho ya kutaka kuwa hapo na mwanaume mwenyewe ako willing, a man who wants to be there,
Present and willing.
and a man who's willing to grow.
Yes.
And a man who's willing to grow, to hear things that you've not heard before, to change. That.
To adapt.
But what I'm hearing you saying is that you need to be supportive of what you guys have decided as a couple on how to bring up your children.
Regardless of how it lands on the other side.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Na kama italeta noma, I reduce the interactions.
Okay.
If I feel like these 1 week sleepovers ndio zinaleta noma, then I'll make it 4 days.
Okay.
Or 3 days.
That's
Lazima ucheze na rada because this is our family, maze. You know, you can't really you can't show them no.
Another family.
Because then they take it like, oh, so now you know more than all of us. And all the things we knew. So when do
Men, I hope you are listening. Good mwanaume mfiti. Well done.
Yeah.
But you know also the sleepovers, like that one of being spoiled goes both ways. Because we struggle with that. Once they come from shoshos,
And Shosho spoil.
and shosho will just let you run around. Although there's some kind of structure. Because then, okay, they'll go with the nanny also. And then they'll go with their cousins also. So there's a structure kind of. But then there's some things that they just let roll. And you're like, Sasa, we start again when they come back. Right?
And we have to teach them.
Then you have to,
When-
then you have to reteach what we have been.
What has been
What we have
done?
done.
It's sort of different
Yeah.
from how I was brought up, because me going to shoshos was shamba.
Shamba.
It's
the
harvest
hard
time.
work.
You're harvesting.
Yeah,
that is where your
I came
experience-
back.
there's that as well.
Yes, she would spoil me to a certain extent, but
But also
I came
teach
back
you.
even more disciplined. I think that is my opinion. Maybe my parents had a different opinion.
And even now we learned the
Yeah.
local language.
Yes.
was
Exactly.
From
Yes.
Shams.
Yeah.
Interacting
Yeah.
with your cousins. But I did to bring up this point of, I know we've spoken about in-laws. My mind goes to now outlaws and quickly goes to school. The
Yes.
school environment. Like when I was taking my son to school, you know, we've worked hard to bring him up in a certain way until 3 years. And now when he comes back, you'd see some
different.
languages are
Different.
the way anakuongelesha sometimes, and you're like, there's really an influence in the school setup. So
Yeah.
so what do we do about that?
And even the estate.
Even the estates.
Even the neighborhood
Yes.
kids, it's
Yes.
just what you're saying. There's values you have at home
Yeah.
that other homes
Homes
don't have,
don't have,
good or bad. You know,
Yeah.
so once one you'll pick, oh, your daughter has been influenced positively. The next day you'll be
It's
like,
like, hey,
who are you
Umesema
talking to
nini?
like that?
But
What
even
are
from
those
the
ones?
but even
Yeah.
from the cousins also.
Yeah.
Because now, yes, basically there's, especially from the I mean, if you have, like, for example, older cousins, your children have older cousins, they'll pick up things.
yes.
Yeah. What do we do?
And you can't lock your children.
You can't
no,
lock.
at
I
home.
think it's just now you as the parent, you have to put in more effort in undoing what what you can avoid, you avoid, because you can't avoid school.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe you can change the school if you feel that this school has a bad influence on my child, and you have to really have concrete reasons and evidence for you to actually change to a different school based on your own research. And again, you can't keep moving estates.
You can't. No.
Yeah.
House.
So where you can, either you can talk to your neighbor, the adults, now the parents of your neighbor, in a nice way. There are ways you put words in a diplomatic way,
But I
where
also
possible.
think it's a lot to do with internal parenting in your
Yes,
house.
yes.
You know how your mother would give you a look, eh? Squeezy, you know, we look at our children like that, they look at you like, Mama, what's wrong? But
Yes, you love that look. Yes, you love that look. I have that look.
okay, I have it,
I'm
but
like-
there are times they'll be like, why is she
They
looking at
coil.
me like that? Because you knew the rules in, like you knew how you behave. When you, what is acceptable to your mother, another child will be screaming and rolling on the floor. You dare not, because you know what's waiting for you.
yeah,
Even if you won't be chapad at that wedding, you'll be chapad. You know, you see children they are very masters at behaving badly in public. But if your mother chapas you, she just gives you a look and you know that we are gonna meet at home, so let me stop. This one will be carried
one will
back
be
to home.
Yeah.
So I feel like intentional parenting in our current world, like I'll just give an example: sitting on tables.
Okay.
Kids somehow do that naturally.
Yeah.
So we did that thing
Somehow.
of somehow.
Somehow.
It's something.
Or
I
jumping.
think tables are better than chairs.
Chairs, yeah.
No idea. However, there's something I used to tell our first child. Those ones of sitting on the table. I'd say we carry the rules in our hearts. Do we sit at a table in our house? No. When you go to shoshos,
Why?
don't sit on the table. However, now like for us, one shosho is very structured and ruly. The other shosho is for YOLO. You want to eat it on the table. That's shosho Hannah. On the table. And she'll be looking at you like, what's your problem? I'm like, you never let us sit on tables. Now you're letting them sit on tables.
Yeah.
But she one day told me something, that how she's done parenting, now she's a grandmother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
kazi
my mom says
kwangu.
that too.
Yeah.
So kazi kwangu.
Kwako, yeah.
So back to the society and everyone, kazi kwako.
Kama mama.
Yeah.
Yes, kazi kwako kama baba.
Yeah.
Today we have a baba.
Yeah. So it boils down to your discipline method as well at home.
At home.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then before we end, I know you have something funny, but we need to talk about church. My opinion, I love church, but church is the biggest outlaw in any situation I have seen. Yeah, and I don't know. Sometimes you have taught your children certain ways, and I know like church has got different churches have got different doctrines and principles, and some you may embrace. You have your freedom to embrace some, and some not to embrace. For example, my church does not celebrate Christmas. Me. Christmas tree there. Gifts on the 1st of December until 31st of December. Gifts under the tree. Christmas carols, the whole December we are on Christmas carols. Then my child goes to church and they're being taught in Sabbath class. Christmas is a pagan practice. I'm just like, oh my God, now I need to find some wise way to explain this in a way that the child will understand as to there are things that church may teach that I may not agree with, but yes, it's my church, because every church has different practices. So, and then there are also those people in church who they make it their business to tell you are teaching your child wrong. Your child should not be believing in Christmas. In fact, Wango, your daughter told us that you guys have a Christmas tree at home. I mean, that is not right.
But it's in our house.
I know. Yeah. So, and I know I'm going to get really bashed for this from my people from church. But yeah, I'm ready to deal with. I've made my peace with it. Yeah. It's a burning situation.
Yeah. The way, and it's even in the Bible. Cindy, about your parents, who your parents are.
Yes.
Cindy, only come a representation of God on this earth.
You're the priest of the home.
Yeah.
So for me now, there's God, then there's me, then kuna the others,
Yes.
including institutions.
Yes.
So if I feel that this thing is not working out, like napeleka watu wangu mahali wanakuwa confused, they're being told things different from what I'm trying to teach them, then that has to pause. It's not common thinking, but that's how I feel. Me and my kids, we have interesting conversations about church, because I'm not able to skip over a lot of the things that I see in church and pretend that it's just okay. I can't. And if I were to leave this earth today, the code I've given my kids to live by, that's what they live by. So I have to overpower the world in my children while they're still young. I think that's the game. I'm trying to overpower the world while they're still young, while their minds can still be molded. I'm trying to select their friends. I'm trying to make sure they go to good schools. I'm trying to make sure while their minds are still taking in dunia ni nini, they're getting some of the right things. So when I'm not there, either physically or not on this earth, they still have that as the code. I don't feel that a parent should cede authority to anybody.
Unless it's God himself.
First and foremost, it should be the parent, not a doctor, not an institution, not a school. No. Vile uona na watu wako wanafaa kuwa. And you have a right conviction, and you've pursued knowledge, na umejua maze nikipeleka mtoto wangu hivi atakaa vizuri. Whatever is in the opposite direction of that, I feel is something that should not exist.
And I agree with you that the parents are the child's first authority. Yeah, because that's where else are they going to be to learn about instruction and about whatever else? It's from the parents. But I also have a question for us. There's some rules that are there. There are rules everywhere that we have to abide in, whether or not we agree with them or not. But what if how do we are trying to teach our children to follow rules. Then there are some rules that you do not
Even
agree
you can't
with.
follow.
You're like,
Even you can't.
now this school. What is it with this school?
Yeah.
So how do we create that balance of showing your child you should obey? Rules are there to be obeyed. Or there are rules that need to be broken. But yet, so how do you create that balance with our children?
If there's no balance, tell them.
No,
Tell them hii dunia utamit na vitu as it makes sense. We had this conversation yesterday with Tugi. So so my daughter wanted to give a gift to a teacher. Then nikamwita kando nikamwambia, you see, you have to be able to create to create favor for yourself without creating jealousy among everybody else. Kwa hivyo vitu zingine unacheza chini ya maji. So she was saying, I'm telling you the truth.
Corruption on the side.
No, it's not corruption. It's not corruption. It's wisdom.
It's wisdom.
So she was saying, yeah, I want to surprise my teacher with a gift. Nikamwambia, fine, go surprise with a gift, but usitoe mazee hadharani mbele ya watu wengine. Not about the other kids who don't have a gift to give.
Yeah.
Ita teacher kando mwambia, teacher, I wanted you to have this. Let the teacher broadcast. But where umecheza chini. So what I was trying to teach them is that there's no perfect place. You'll go to places, you'll find rules that don't make sense. You'll find stronger people than you who force you to do things. But if I can overpower the world in their minds now, they'll be able to make good decisions when they meet rules that don't make sense. A lot of stuff that we do now doesn't make sense. And I agree that we should be able to tell them, this doesn't make sense, but it's the way of the world. And I need you to know this is how you operate when you find things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're teaching our kids just to think. Really, like the biggest asset we're giving kids nowadays is to think. So that you're able to, because then if you're not thinking, nowadays we think, but we were not taught to think. Our school systems did not allow us to think. You were not empowered to question anything. Open your
and I've thought for you.
Even you ask a question and then it's like you're challenging authority.
Used to beat us at school for that.
So that's so.
In this current world, empower your children to think. That way, when they go find something that doesn't make sense, they're able to see, I know me when I think about it, this and this doesn't make sense.
I would like to summarize that verse in the Bible. Raise up a child in the way he should be, and they will never depart from it. Like every time Waweru spoke, I just remembered, like by the time they reach 7 years, they're already formed. There's so little you'll do to change that child. So whatever it is that you imparted into them, they will stand for it.
And remember what we keep saying, we are the best. Okay, today parents.
We're the only parents they have.
Inclusive.
We are the only parents they have.
Imagine.
They'll not have another one.
Imagine.
It's you and the father, you and the mother.
If you won't celebrate Christmas, put the biggest tree.
I still do.
Go to Yaya.
I do.
Take pictures with all the trees,
Let them feel love. You know, all everybody's looking for is acceptance.
Yes.
And the root of that is love. If a kid has someone who they know, mtu ananipenda regardless, and this person picks me over the rules, the in-laws, this person just picks me and loves me. This person is empowered for life because I'm on a strong core. I'm valuable, I'm loved, you know. So I feel like if we just love these kids regardless of what people say we should do, what institutions say we should do. Leo ni mtu tu alifikiria kitu alisema watu wakae chini 2 hours wasome. Now wakisimama wachune. It's madness, you see. It makes sense. So you tell your kids, say sawa, that's what they say, but if you need to pee, insist. And if you have to run and go, so just love.
Chuki was asking another day, why do we have to ask for permission to go pee? It didn't make sense to her at all. So then we had to tell her because of structure, and if everyone has to run out, then it becomes annoying for the teacher. Then she's like, okay, that makes sense. Me, I was never allowed to question such things.
I
know.
Especially if your teacher is a harsh one.
So teacher amesema hapana. It's true. There's a YouTuber, Kate Carey, who she says, traditions, it's her mom. The traditions is peer pressure from dead people. And it's true. Traditions and Afonso, thank you for that. But it's true. Traditions is peer pressure from dead people. Because we are following
things that are dead.
From dead people. From dead, not dead. From dead people. They're dead.
So okay, I guess they're good ones,
but they're good. They're good traditions that carry on. But yes, it takes a village to raise children, but the village should also respect your principles as a parent. Thank you, Waweru, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Mum Nation. You guys look mwah.
Thank you.
The show is mwah.
And thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, what's the other one? Follow us and
Give it a
like.
thumbs up.
Yes, yes,
Mum Nation,
yes.
Mum Nation.
Tell us your experience.
Yeah, and tell us your experience. Tell us other topics you'd like us to talk about. Okay, until next time. Bye.
Boydze.